Caro signore, grazie per tutto quello che hai fatto per me.
Guarda figlio, sono appena tornato dalla stazione di polizia e hanno detto che tua madre era crollata. È morta prima di colpire il pavimento. Pensano che sia stato un arresto cardiaco o un infarto. Spero che tu capisca. Ma prima di andare oltre, voglio che guidi a casa di tua zia e risolva le cose con lei proprio ora.
Aspetta, non ne parleremo, come niente.
Non c'è niente di cui parlare.
Hello everyone, welcome to the medical show. I'm Chris Wallace, and our special guest today is Martina Hernandez from the Dominican Republic.
Hola a todos.
So, today's story is tragic. We have caught up to a young man named Joe. He has this rare disease called Marfan syndrome. And actually, he's on the call. How you doing, Joe?
I am doing very well.
That's great. So Joe, if you may, will you tell us your story?
Of course you will. So, I remember that, you was going to the doctor's office.
So, we've got some news. Your test results for a disease came back positive. We found out that you might have a rare genetic disorder called Marfan syndrome.
Wait, what the heck is Marfan syndrome?
It's an inherited disorder that affects connective tissue. Marfan syndrome affects the heart, eyes, blood vessels, and bones. I'm so sorry.
Oh, you're okay. I just don't know how to tell my dad. He's going to be devastated. He already lost his wife, I don't know what he'd do if he lost me.
You're fine, but we do need to see you tomorrow.
Okay. So that's all I remember.
Yo, si puedo preguntarte cómo está tu papá.
Sta andando bene. È di sopra a fare un pisolino.
Nice. So Joe, is it okay if we ask you some questions?
Assolutamente.
Have you yet been tested for Marfan syndrome?
No, because it is too much money.
But you need to see if you actually have the disease or not, because if you don't go, and you have the disease, you could die. More or less what is Marfan syndrome to you?
I think Marfan syndrome is some genetic disorder.
You don't know that if you have Marfan syndrome then there's a possibility that your offspring can have it.
Well, depends on if he is heterozygous or homozygous for the gene 50% if hetero and 100% if homo.
Also, we all know my mother most likely had the disease because my father has no symptoms of it whatsoever.
Yeah, and another reason to get tested is so you can watch your environmental conditions.
Right.
You need to nurture, seek medical care, take medications, eat a healthy diet, and last but not least, have a careful life.
You know what, he might try to take a test to see if he have the disease.
Muy bien.
But before we leave, our daily verse is Hebrew 1:14, God, who at various times and in various ways spoke in time past to the fathers by the prophets, has in these last days spoken to us by his Son, whom he has appointed heir of all things, through whom also he made the worlds, who being the brightness of his glory and the express image of his person, and upholding all things by the word of his power, when he had by himself purged our sins, sat down at the right hand of the Majesty on high, having become so much better than the angels, as he has by inheritance obtained a more excellent name than they. The Son exalted above angels, for to which of the angels did he ever say, You are my Son, today I have begotten you? And again, I will be to him a father, and he shall be to me a son? But when he again brings the firstborn into the world, he says, Let all the angels of God worship him. And of the angels he says, Who makes his angels spirits and his ministers a flame of fire. But to the Son he says, Your throne, O God, is forever and ever. A scepter of righteousness is the scepter of your kingdom. You have loved righteousness and hated lawlessness. Therefore God, your God, has anointed you with the oil of gladness more than your companions. And you, Lord, in the beginning laid the foundation of the earth, and the heavens are the work of your hands. They will perish, but you remain. And they will all grow old like a garment. Like a cloak you will fold them up, and they will be changed. But you are the same, and your years will not fail. But to which of the angels has he ever said, "Sit at my right hand, till I make your enemies your footstool"? Are they not all ministering spirits sent forth to minister for those who will inherit salvation?
Thank you and good day.